I know I haven't posted or done anything on social media for a while, partly because I've been busy. I have been busy with work and life in general, and I got swamped. Um, the other reason is fear, and I want to talk about it because I think it's one of the things that have been holding me back. One of the things that have been holding me back in terms of me actually posting anything, writing anything. And as everyone will know, there's so many types of fear, and I know my sisters are gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, Ona, afraid of what? Um, yeah, I've been known to be afraid. I would normally consider myself a very brave person, but I've had to sort of face the fact that I do get scared sometimes, I do get afraid, I do get anxious, and that I need to remind myself that God is with me all the time and He'll never leave me or forsake me. And I know that it's such a verse that everyone says, but it's really hard to remember when you are in that zone of fear. I would say I think I first recognized my own fear when I was at the Cape Town airport moving from Harare to come and live in London by myself. I'd made the decision to move my social work practice from Zim to London, and everything was fine, everything was great when I was saying goodbye to people at the airport. My mom and dad were asking me if I was nervous, and I really didn't really feel nervous. But to be honest with you, like I said, I'm not like generally a nervous person. Usually I would have thought out stuff, and what's the worst could happen is sort of my attitude towards life. But in the silence of waiting to board, and it said now boarding to London Heathrow, the British Airways, and I stood there and realized, oh my gosh, I'm actually leaving my family. I'm actually going to this unknown place. I don't know what it's going to look like. I have no one there that I know that is in the area. It was just a lot of anxiety. I didn't know what was going to go wrong, what was going to go right. And it wasn't so much the practicalities of it. It was just like anxiety at just a different level that was unheard of for me. And so I cried. I cried at the Cape Town airport. I couldn't breathe, and I think I had my first panic attack, or rather my second panic attack. My other panic attack started when I wanted to go on radio, but that's a different story, completely different story. And I think it was the fear of the unknown, that anxiety. And if you're ever going through that, I think you just need to remember that tomorrow will take care of itself. And I know it's such a cliche to say, but even the Bible says it in Matthew 6 verse 4. It says, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. And as I got onto that plane, I remember breathing and going, here goes nothing, and doing it. But that's a natural sort of fear, isn't it? Everyone sort of gets to a point where naturally, because of how eternal minded humans naturally are, we tend to think about the future, tomorrow, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, not knowing or not having sight of what tomorrow looks like, or what you are physically, the next step physically is going to be like, is very daunting. So I think that's sort of a natural fear that I've had, and I've sort of sorted it out. My friends will know that I'm the type of girl who will sit on a bus and see where the end of it goes, because I want to have sight of it. I want to know, and I now get excited about traveling to new places because tomorrow will take care of itself. Nothing is really going to happen, isn't it? The second type of fear that I faced would be obvious, because it's one of the reasons why I haven't been as consistent as I should be, as I've been instructed to be, in terms of me doing social media. It's the fear of men. I know it sounds silly, but I think low-key, high-key, I am scared of people's opinions. I am scared because of a host of reasons. Some of it has to do with the fact that, you know, I'm a perfectionist. I want things to look a certain way before I do things. I want to know that I'm going to excel at a certain thing before starting it. I want to know that I'm going to be great at it. Why? I don't know. It's probably a childhood thing. I don't know. And I think one of my managers at work picked up on it and said, you care about what people think about you. And the minute she said that, I started crying, not only because it felt odd to be seen, but at the same time, for the first time, I think in a workplace setting, or even just generally in life, I was being seen, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but you know. And I think my fear of people's opinions has held me back from doing things I know I should be doing. Now, let me phrase this, because I know people who have an inkling of my background and who have an inkling of what I've been able to achieve. Back when I was in Zimbabwe, would be like, what do you mean? You have done some daring stuff. You've been on TV, you've been on radio. So how are you afraid of people's opinions? It's different when it's something you know is impactful. Not to say that me being on TV wasn't impactful. Me being on TV was something that I had always wanted to be or become, like from when I was a child, and it was a dream I somehow in my gut knew I was going to be successful at, because look at me. But because I just knew that I would be excellent on TV. I just knew that I had the persona, the personality, the charisma to be on TV, to be on radio. I have been a performer for most of my life. I've done poetry, I've done dramas, I've done all of that stuff. So it's an easy win for me, being able to talk and do all of that. But there's something about me about excelling and fear of not being good enough to do something that I think impacts dreams. So obviously at work, I really want to be good at what I do, because I feel like I am what I do, which is terrible. It's not supposed to be that way, but here we are, we're working through it. But because I also am sure that one of the things I need to be doing with my ability to talk and to share and to reflect is to have these discussions with you. But I'm scared, because that means letting you in and having you think, oh, she's not really good at this. And I know it's impactful, because I know with what I share, there's the ability to change lives. And that is scary for me. And of course, fear of men will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. And that's really easy to say as a Christian, because you're like, oh yeah, Proverbs says, do not be afraid of man, be afraid of God. It's not easy. It's not easy when you are a child who grows up and, you know, you are complimented when you do something great, and when you try something and fail, it's not really acknowledged as part of development. It's just more so you failed, because what that does is it gets you addicted to the compliments, to the well dones, to the all of that, and then at some point you start performing to get those compliments. But we're not going to unpack my childhood trauma, okay, which as an African, I'll tell you, it's not trauma. I'm still struggling, and my mother's gonna kill me for trying to say childhood trauma on camera, but here we are. But lately I've always been aware of that fear. I've been aware of it, I know of it. Me and it chats, and sometimes I kick it out, sometimes it creeps back in. But lately I've been dealing with a different kind of fear that has been freaking me out, and it's the fear of insignificance. It's the fear of not having a legacy. And I think because I just turned 33, and I am single, let's name it. I'm single. There is the aspect of society that says the legacy of a woman is her children. I suppose I've been struggling with the thought of potentially dying single and what that looks like in terms of my legacy, and what that looks like in terms of, have I left anything for anyone to pick up on? Have I been seen? Have I wasted potential? Is my life worth something because there's no tangible legacy? And I know we are in an era where women are like choosing not to have children, and you know, having a marriage is not something that is necessarily a tagline on them, and you know, being independent is great, which is, and I have no problem with that. I love my space, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's, how do I cement my legacy? How do I have my name or my life be impactful to the people that surround me? What are people going to say at my death, at my funeral? What's the eulogies going to be like? And that's been something that I've been grappling with for the past couple of months, really. I know family is going to be touched because I am an awesome daughter and an even better big sister, I'll have you know. But aside from that, what? I spend a significant amount of time at work, and I know there's impact there in terms of the work that I do with the children that I support and help. But again, where's the legacy? I suppose when you think about people like Beyonce or Taylor Swift, you can pinpoint what their legacy is, isn't it? Like you can pinpoint to the music and say, this is the music she left. 15 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, people will be talking about the music. They'll be talking about the tour she did. She'll be how many Grammys she's won and all of that. It's like the Michael Jacksons. But what will people point at when they talk about me? And I know it's not supposed to be a fear, but it's just there, man, and I don't really know what to do about it. But what I know is Hebrews Hebrews 6 verse 10 says, God is not unjust. He will not forget your work and the love you have shown him as you have helped his people and continue to help them. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm a social worker, you know this. Does this count? Is there more I could be doing? Is there other work that you've called me to that I haven't realized, that I haven't taken up, that I haven't established? Is there more work that you need me to do that I haven't even thought of? And I guess my affirmation for the week, after all of that rambling, is I will not fear being forgotten. My life is chosen, is fruitful, and God remembers my work, and my fruit will remain, no matter what it is that I do. I'm still trying to figure it out. And if I find out, I will tell you. Good night.